1. Robotics Assemble.
Assemble.
Oh,
Yeah. All right.
poorly timed as usual.
So, poorly timed. But hello and welcome back
Okay.
to another Robotics Assemble podcast episode. I'm your host, Nikhil Devaset. Actually, we all three are hosts today. So,
Exactly. We're all here
Kinda.
together.
yeah, we're all here together. So I'm Nikhil. I'm joined by Aditya Shrey, our president and Lord and Savior,
hmm
and Meg, who is the lead of the Imagery team and the lead of the podcast. Basically, he
Co-lead.
controls co-lead of the podcast. He basically controls everything that you see from robotics, right? Marketing and everything. All right. So today's episode is going to be a little
I
more
just like to point out
casual.
I have some. Okay.
Wait, hey,
Yeah.
Nikhil, let Meg
No,
speak.
Meg.
I wanted to point out that I have some great members over at Imagery who help make it
Yes.
possible. So yeah, shout out to them.
Perfect.
Oh god, it just said shout out.
It's all right.
Alright,
We can
this
thank.
sounds
Nah.
stupid.
We love our imagery team.
We
Yeah,
love
just
the
the
And we're
word
Imagery
actually-
team.
Just the word shout out sounds so like YouTuber,
It does.
esque. It's just, anyways, yeah.
But this is going on
Shout
YouTube,
out,
so
leave a like,
let's point that out.
subscribe.
Exactly. Email us. What's the email, Nikhil? Do you still remember?
Saints Robotics podcast at Saints Robotics. Wait, Robotics
Nope.
Assemble podcast at saintsrobotics.com.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
So
not
you
do
guys
that.
feel free
Email
to
us.
start.
Yeah, and we're actually recording this on a new software, so it's not Google Meets anymore. It's Zencaster, and so it's a little different, but it's a lot nicer, I would think.
I'd hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nikhil, feel
Hopefully.
free to.
So yeah, today's episode is actually going to be a little bit more of a casual episode. We're just going to be talking about the State of the Union of the United States of America, presented by
Exactly.
our president Aditya
All
Shrey.
three of us.
All three of us.
Let's
Especially
make
our
that
president Aditya Shrey. So basically, by United States of America, I mean our club. So just what our club is doing, what we're up to, because I felt like it's always good to catch up on what we did, in the past week or so. So yeah, we can get right into it, and we're also just gonna be talking about
I mean,
the challenges
even beyond
as
a
well.
week, there's perfect. And yeah, beyond a week, there's a lot that's happening in our club right now, especially with the challenges coming up too. And so that's something to consider. That's why we've had less episodes in general too of the podcast. So we're gonna get back to that. So that'll be exciting. But yeah. All right. What's the first thing, Nikhil or Meg?
Do you guys want to go like sub team by sub team? I mean, we don't have
Yeah,
all
we
the sub teams here, obviously, but
Sure.
I'll just
Sure,
start
we
off with
can just
imagery. Okay, yeah, I'll start with imagery. We basically been, working towards those, the competitions like you were saying. We've been working on two main awards, the Chairman's Award and then the Digital Animation Award. So it's been going pretty well. I mean, we've been planning this out for a while. I know last year our club had a hard time planning a lot of these like imagery kind of based awards. So this year I made that really a strong point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the recordings have gone really well. For the chairman's award, it's been different from what we expected. We originally expected, it'd be a separate award, but sorry, a separate thing we actually submit. But now instead, it's going to be
A part of the
sorry.
presentation.
Sorry,
So it'll
yeah,
be a
part
little
of the
different. But yeah, that's
But-
exciting. I do have a question. How's the Digital Animation Award going? The animation
yeah.
for that. I actually haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't either. So,
Okay.
Oh no.
Well,
no,
just a reminder, the submission for that is the 25th in a couple of days.
yeah, no worries.
It's okay. No worries. There's no pressure.
Yeah, but we have not Nikhil, sorry. We have Ian on that, and Ian is our in-house specialist on animation. He's really great with it. We're actually using an Among Us theme for our
Interesting.
chairman's video this year. It's sorry, and Digital Animation Award this year. I haven't played Among Us in a while, so I guess the game popularity is kind of slightly, starting to plateau, but it's cool. I like it, and you guys will see more. I'll probably post it on the YouTube channel later.
Yeah, definitely, and we should share it
That'd
with
be
the rest of
awesome.
the team.
Yeah.
But I'm
We're
excited
gonna
for
see a
that.
sneak peek on the chairman's video anytime.
Oh, probably. Yes. I mean, it's pretty much like
Yes.
Allie's done a great job editing it. the way she worked the music in with the video and all that, and it's really been great. And then we have another member of this the Saints Robotics team, Delaney. She's on admin, as obviously you guys know. She's been doing the script or the voiceover, and so it's been a really fun experience because we get to work with a lot of different people. But yeah, you guys will probably see that. I mean, it's due on the 25th, so it has to be. I
I
mean,
mean,
kind of due on the 25th,
for
I
the
guess.
viewers, what's different about the submission this year? We're in the pandemic and
Um,
everything, but how's the video submission different? Do you want to
right,
talk
yeah.
about that?
So yeah, so like you touched on before. Originally the video was kind of supposed to be like a supplement almost to the presentation, right? You had the presentation, you had the video, and you had the essay, right? And they kind of do the work together, not like, they work independently, but also had like a common theme. This year it's a little different because you have the video inside the presentation. So all of a sudden your video should kind of work in flow with the presentation. So like, you go slide 1, 2, 3, video, 4, 5, 6, right? So that video should connect between slides 3 and slides 4, acting as a connector there, or slides 5, I don't care. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's kind of the difference. And so it's less prominent, but it also gives us more of an opportunity to really work closely with the people over the presentation side, which has been interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, typically you would have to submit like a USB of the video and turn that into the
Right.
judges, and they would use that for submissions,
Mm-hmm.
but it isn't required this year. So it's optional. But I mean, you guys have probably discussed this as you guys are working in chairmans, but
Mm-hmm.
we've thought that having the video in along with the presentation would actually support it, given that there's only so much you can do in a presentation with the screen and everything. Again,
Right.
I haven't been too involved with the chairmans, unfortunately, but I am excited.
I see.
Now, I'm interested to see what other teams do. Just other teams
Yeah.
in the Pacific Northwest and just other teams in general. How do they approach this issue? I can imagine there's like a lot of different solutions out there, but
So are
Let
you
us know by
still yeah, wait. Are you still
let us yeah.
presenting like in front of a real judge, or is it like you're recording a presentation?
I believe it is
It is still
in front of a real judge.
you're still going to be presenting in front of judges. And
Yeah,
so
it's live, right?
the
Yeah, I was
presenters are
pretty
going to have to
sure.
practice all of this, including sharing their screens, sharing the
Hmm.
video. Since uh, it's no longer a separate component, they have to, or I mean, I guess they want to do it because it's a part of their presentation. So hopefully, no technical
Hmm.
issues arise during that. But yeah, it will be an
Yeah.
online presentation.
There needs to be like a lot of rehearsal on that. Make sure they
Definitely.
can troubleshoot all the problems.
Yeah, they'll have to practice using Zoom a bit because currently I mean, as a team, we use Google Meets, and so it's a little different. I
Hmm.
don't have too much experience with Zoom, so not too familiar.
Yeah.
But that's one thing to consider. But that's great. You can go on to business. I mean, traditionally they would be working on outreach, though that's diminished a little bit because they're focusing on the chairman stuff. The executive summary is due on the 25th, along with the digital animation word, as you know. So they'll have to work on that, and yeah, there are only 4 days until that's there.
Yeah, I
And
know
some
that
of the
they're writing a
members,
lot of essays, right?
yeah. So there's the chairman's essay, and then there's also like shorter questions for the executive summary, and they have to turn that in. I'm not entirely sure about the status, but I do know that it's going well, and I will talk with Goal soon to make sure that's going well. But I'm sure they're fine. And some of the members in business are also working on the innovation challenge, which we'll get to a little later. So it's a little smaller right now, but that's mainly what they're working on right now. And eventually they'll transition into working on outreach, and I'm excited for what we plan on doing this summer, though I do need to talk with them.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. So business has a plan going on. They have their backup plans with, but they still are planning outreach, right? Like how we had during the winter, like the winter break, we had a winter like outreach event, Cirque or Soul, sorry, iSoul, but the winter edition. So they're also planning more of those things as well, right?
Yeah, the summer camp was super successful, so I think we're going to continue doing that. It was also a lot of fun, and a lot more people participated, so I hope it will continue for sure. If there is an opportunity for in-person, we'll also try and like have Cirque again, but I don't think that's very likely. But again, that's there. And there's also a local elementary school nearby Interlake, and we're seeing if we can help them out because elementary students are struggling a lot more given that there are a bunch of like basic concepts they learn in school, and there's not a lot you can do online. And so, and they are being they're allowed to go to school right now, like I believe 2 times a week. I'm not entirely sure. So we do want to figure out how we can help them out, since that would be pretty exciting and also just a way to give back to them. But yeah, and that's mainly it
awesome.
for the outreach stuff. Yeah, do you want to talk about control systems next, Nikhil?
Oh yeah, for control systems currently, we've been finishing up our PSOC and soldering project, which is basically just trying to teach people how to do like certain skills that they're probably going to use for any type of control systems, like soldering. We know we can't. It's been very slow because we can't really meet up and have all the tools at their disposal. So we have to share tools and we have to like send it to places and send parts to places. So it's been taking a little bit of time, but we're getting through. We're able to do it, so that's basically it. But other than that, we're still thinking of new projects. So if you guys have any cool control systems projects, like any electronic project, please leave it in like the comment section below, the description, or just email us at roboticsassemblepodcast at saintsrobotics.com, and we'll take a look at it. And if it might be fun to do, we'll probably do it. And I know that
Are you
on
guys
the
done with
engineering
like the
side.
control systems aspect of the Minibot? Oh,
Oh,
in terms of the
for the
Minibot,
control
are you
system.
guys done with like the control system stuff? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Basically, the way that works is control systems gets the Minibot last. So after, not last, but like second to last. So after all of the mechanical parts go in, then they give us the Minibot, I guess, and then we will wire it up, if wire up whatever they haven't already, and then we'll send it over to programming, who'll program it. So that's probably how it works. So we're still working on what's
Okay.
it called? We're still working on like actual fabricating the Minibot and getting all the pieces fit
Mhm.
onto it. And like I think it's completely
Okay.
designed. They're just working on like waiting for a CNC to come in and then machine some of the parts. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's another fun thing that we did order. Actually, no, we've opened up a PO or in the process of it, but we will get a CNC for next year. So that's very exciting actually. Though it's going to be very loud and I can't imagine where it's going to be, but it'll be nice to have it, especially for the mechanical team and the rest of engineering. Yeah. We
Okay.
can
Yeah. So
transition. Oh, we could transition over to programming, but I don't know much about what they're doing.
I just know that they have
yeah.
Is
been
that true for
programming
all
a
of
Yeah.
lot.
us?
They have been programming a
Yes.
lot.
We'll just
They've been
pass it that.
programming for I think just like teaching them how everything works, like the API, how to use like Git and everything. And I know that they've been actually like doing work. I don't know on what, probably on the Minibot. They've been working on that just like because
Mhm.
Swerve needs a lot of tuning and like fine like
Mhm.
averages and stuff, like just a lot of like finesse that PID like the Swerve needs because it's
Yeah.
a PID controller and stuff. So I think they've just been working on that. But if you're part of programming, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not completely sure. So yeah.
So stuff with the mini bot and that. Did you? I didn't know this until Friday, but did you know they're stripping our past FRC robot and using those parts for our mini bot? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
I
But
I
I
didn't
didn't know.
either.
It makes sense, but I wish I knew. But now I know. So I
it
guess
depends
for the
on
rest of you
what
who don't
bot
know,
they're stripping. Like what
They're
if
it's
it's
doing the
like a
last bot.
nice bot?
yeah, it's the most recent one.
It's most recent
It's a
one.
No,
nice bot.
Literally the
I
last
really
one.
like that bot. It looked nice.
Yeah, I'll
I
have to
mean,
Okay.
talk to them.
okay, I mean, the only thing they are going to be stripping is going to
I
be
think it's the
the
swerve, right? The
Swerve
wheels,
modules, and those
the
are really
modules.
easy to put on and extremely replaceable. I'm pretty sure we replaced them a couple times already, so it's
Yeah.
not
I'm pretty sure we replaced them in
too much of
comp.
a deal. Yeah, in competition
I'm
we
pretty sure we replaced
sometimes
them in
have to replace.
competition. Yeah.
Yeah, during competition
So
we
Yeah.
replace them
So I guess we'll
sometimes.
just have a bot without wheels.
I mean, we can always put the
Yeah,
wheels
that's
back
all
on.
we know about programming.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's all we
It's
know about
fine.
programming. That they've
But yeah,
been
I didn't
removing
know.
the wheels of our bots. How could they?
Actually,
Yeah.
is that programming, or is that
No, I don't know.
It's all of
mechanical?
engineering.
It's
Oh, okay.
everything.
It's probably
It's a
mostly mechanical,
yeah.
but it's all of engineering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Minibot will become an outreach bot and also just a practice bot. It's great.
Yeah.
But that's all we know about programming.
Yeah, we need more programmers on
What
here.
is
We do. Then
what are the
there's
Yeah,
mechanical,
mechanical, right?
and that's like the last one. I mean, there's one more. I don't know
I
too
mean,
much.
for
I do know,
mechanical, Minibot and just
yeah,
cat.
Right.
they were
That's all you
making the
gotta do.
parts, and then they've been going through a CAD curriculum, so
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
mainly it. And this was a recent decision. We are participating in the FRC Infinite Recharge at Home challenge, so that's something
What
to consider.
What is that? Because I remember I heard a little bit about it when it was originally announced, but then I kind of like went right over my head really after that announcement. So yeah, you want to kind of talk about like what are we doing about that and like why we decided kind of to
Mhm.
join into that
Yeah,
now.
so there are like two components to this challenge. There's the skills based one, which requires you to have the robot and film it, which is something we can't do because we can't meet up. Then there's also this other component where you just send pictures of the robot or even CAD designs and you send it. And it also has a judging component similar to the innovation challenge and also game design, except it's focused on last year's robot and what it was able to do. And I believe most of the awards are similar to like a typical competition. So it'll still encompass that. But yeah, I think we're just going to send over some CAD files, pictures of a robot, and then also just prepare for some of those judging sessions.
I
Using
mean,
last
how
year's
are we
robot.
gonna send pictures of a robot that doesn't have wheels on it?
I mean, we can use past photos since it's the
Really?
same robot.
That's what I'm bent on right now. They
Are
removed the wheels of our robots, and I
Right.
want to take a photo of it.
Hear me out. Send the images to media or imagery.
Mhm.
Let us Photoshop some wheels on there. Just draw it in, just two little dots.
I
Just
mean, all of the
Got you.
photos have wheels, so I don't think
can you
that's an
put
issue
like
now. It's
can
an
you put
issue
like
for
jet
later.
turbines on it too? Just like to make it a little bit more realistic to see how fast
Mhm.
it goes because they can't really see how
Exactly.
fast it's gonna go, like from the image, right? So you need to put some
Mhm.
like boosters, some um nitro in it, RGB everything. Just a little bit of a really nice
We're gonna
VFX
have a
machine,
tough time. We're gonna have a tough time explaining the robot to incoming freshmen next year. A robot without wheels. But
Yes.
that's for later. We'll have a
Yikes.
mini bot,
Okay. Sure.
and we still have other bots, so we're good.
Yeah.
So that's
With
it
that,
for
what's
engineering. Yeah.
no, go ahead. It's good. You're good. No worries.
Oh, I was just gonna move on to competition, which is a
Cool.
branch, it's not really a sub team. But they were able to finish up the 3 essays, 2 for Dean's List and 1 for Woody Flowers, and they submitted that. Well, I believe Thursday. The mentor submitted the Dean's List, and I submitted the Woody Flowers, though Kea and Erica were the ones who wrote it. So yeah, we're done with that, and that's pretty exciting. A bunch of the
Shout
deadlines are
out to
coming
them
up.
as well.
Yeah, we'll give them a shout out. I wanted to give
Their
them a round
ats
of
are
applause
in the
on Friday's
description. I'm
meeting.
joking. We're not gonna
I
at
wanted to
them.
give them a round of applause on Friday's meeting, but only Erica was there. So I'll try again on Monday. But we're done with those essays. It's exciting. They have other
Mm-hmm.
projects to be doing afterwards, and so that's going to be even more fun. But that's it with competition. Then we get into the challenges. So Nikhil, do you want to talk about game design?
All right.
So yeah, one of the two challenges, the main challenges at least, is game design, right? So game design, basically, this year there is no game like what we have every single year, which is basically like what our robots are created to participate in. So this year, we are challenged to make our own game, right? So it's based on this theme that we create, but it has to have a certain element to it and it also has to abide by some of the rules and like restrictions that first puts on. I know that one of the game elements is a chain, so we have to have a chain in our design somewhere. It can be literal or figurative chain, so we could have like a chain of friendship, a very cringy chain of friendship. We are united together, linked hand in hand, like the State of the
Doesn't there have to
Union.
be a physical component?
It can also be a physical component. It was very
I see.
like obscure
Vague.
and like vague. So it's like they were like, yeah, it has to have a chain in it. I think we did both. I'm not gonna reveal what we did for competitive integrity. I'm joking. I don't. I basically we're doing like this. I think it's a pretty good idea.
God.
I think it's a pretty good idea, right? It's a
Yeah, you,
forest fire.
no, no, um,
Uh, That's
Okay.
all I'm gonna say. It's a forest fire. We might be the firefighters. We might be the forest fire starters. I'm not gonna tell you which one, but you can guess.
so what are these? When's this competition due?
March 4th. All of these
March 4th.
deadlines are in my head. And we are presenting these during announcements, so
Yeah.
maybe that means you aren't paying attention, Meg. It's okay.
I definitely knew
Oh,
it
It's-
too.
during announcements.
I definitely
yeah,
knew
they're
it
each
as
like
well.
they're each on Thursday. So on 18th we had the Woody Flowers and Dean's List submissions, and then on the 25th we have what's it called, digital animation. We've got the chairman stuff, and then on the 4th we then have both of the challenges. And I'm not sure when the Infinite Recharge at Home one, when that stuff is due, but it's probably around the 4th. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But yeah, moving on. The final challenge is the Innovation Challenge. And I've been a little bit involved. Obviously, they've been doing a lot more work, and so it's pretty exciting. There are members from multiple sub-teams there working on it, and so it's just been great to see them. We've got business members, mechanical, and programming, and then also some other people popping in. But yeah, in terms of what they've been working on, again, in order to keep the competitive integrity, as Nikhil was talking about, and the fact that I can't really speak a lot about it, it just has to, it just needs to work on some like health issue and relate to that through the use of movement. And so they've been working on that. Right now, they're working on the executive summary. I think they're pretty close to finishing that up, and then they're going to start working on the business model soon and presenting that. But yeah, my knowledge of what they're doing is pretty limited to the actual specifics. It's limited to knowing what they're doing, but I don't know the specifics. Yeah.
I actually really like these challenges because they kind of like they fit all of the what's it called? All of the sub teams, right? It's not really exclusive to like one sub team like business or imagery or something. Especially for game design, I know we're gonna have a lot of like you have to know a lot about the robots to actually make like a really good game, right? Because you want to have like a diverse set of elements and like also you have to make a visual, and so that means imagery has to step in and like create a cool blender animation of like how everything looks and how the game is gonna go, and we need voiceover for it, and as well as you need to have like a very unique game, right? So you need to know how a robot works and like the limitations of a robot. So that's where engineering people can come in, and like control systems people come in and take a look, and then business people can also like participate in it by saying, oh, maybe if we like connecting outreach events into our thing, or maybe like helping us with the theme. It's like it's a very like united thing, in my opinion, for like these games, and it's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I like how you talk about the united aspect of it because, see, normally I think imagery kind of has like um, a passive role, I'd say. We capture a lot of things that the team does, but it's nice because I know that, like, I mean, obviously the I guess one of the nice things about our club just overall is that people can feel free to jump between sub teams. Um, but in this year, really, people can be in the heart of different competitions and still be kind of doing the same thing their sub team originally had them doing, right? Like you were saying, imagery has things like integrating designs and different more like creative aspects of things into these challenges. So yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
This kind of I guess it's a little unrelated, but the idea of logistics of all this, because it did kind of ask us to restructure the club in a little bit just for this competition, right? You've introduced a couple more challenges. You've got the innovation challenge, you've got game design challenge, and then we've also got a bunch of these sub-team projects that we've been working on. So it did change the structure a bit, and I was struggling with this a little bit with the rest of admin. How do we organize meetings so that people are still engaged, but we can still make progress towards these challenges? Because like I can't just hand off the challenge to business and say, hey, work on the innovation challenge, because it requires skills from all over the club, right? Which is a nice aspect of these challenges, but it also it forced us to change a bit, right? Like in terms of like the chairman's video, that can normally just be given to Imagery, and with the other award that you're working on, digital animation, we can just say, Imagery, this is your task. Entrepreneurship awards, that's for business, right? And typically it can be distributed in that way, but we've been forced to shift it a bit. uh, it was a little hard in the beginning trying to figure out how to do it because we still wanted the sub team meetings, but at the same time we had to balance that. We wanted to still have a chance at each of these other challenges, but I'm glad that we were able to reach a conclusion where we did have some of those sub team meetings, but then the rest of those days would just be challenges, autonomy. But yeah,
So
just an interesting component. Yeah.
do you, do you imagine like just in the future? I don't remember if Kevin Ross talked about these challenges. Like I know he kind of touched on them, but in like one of our past episodes. But if they were to continue doing these challenges in the future, right? Things like game design and all that, which I think is entirely plausible. Do you imagine that we're gonna do it the same way we did it now, where the entire team takes it on, or do you imagine kind of doing it more like you might assign it to a not as one specific sub team, but maybe one or two specific sub teams? How do you kind of imagine these challenges fitting in the future?
Yeah, I definitely think it's possible for them to have it in the future, given that it seems successful. But though we'll see how it turns out during at the actual competitions. It does look exciting, and I would want it to happen in the future. But like an issue that would arise is you've got people working on the robot, right? And that's like that has been the main focus of the club, right? You've got the robot, you've
Mm-hmm.
got these smaller awards that you can work on, and you can split the team from there. But during build season, like our core focus of like engineering and also the other teams is working on these challenges and also mainly just the robot. And so if we were to
Mm-hmm.
have an actual build season with the robot alongside these challenges, I do think it would be uh, a lot difficult in terms of that, especially for teams that might be more smaller scaled, right? So I think it would give opportunities for largest teams to have or to succeed more than those smaller teams. I'm not sure how our team would approach
Mm-hmm.
it, but like even Nikhil, you could probably give some input. How much work? There's a lot of work behind each of these challenges, right?
Yeah, there is.
Just a
Because
yes,
you have
right?
to like go from like the
And
yeah,
so that
because
just
you have to go from like the concept of whatever you're making to make sure that's like a really good finished product, right? So in any like design aspect, you have to finesse something until it's really well done. And that same thing applies to these challenges because you can have a very crude idea of what you're going to be doing for a game design challenge, but then to actually make it really good, you have to apply a lot of knowledge and a lot of thought into every single aspect. So it does take a lot of work to make a good product out of it.
yeah, and that's exactly what we're getting at, right? If you've got the robot, you can't. It'll be hard to like split it up in between that unless we had specific groups working on each of them. And you'll notice for each of these challenges, we do have like a core group of members who are working on them. And so, like in future years, if they do have that, it will probably restructure the team more permanently. Right now, the changes we've made are like minor changes; they aren't permanent.
Mm-hmm.
If these challenges do persist, I do think the club will change a bit too. But again, nothing's been
Yeah.
finalized. We're just seeing what could happen. Yeah.
Do you guys think that in the future, I mean, not the future, but whoever wins this competition for game design is gonna
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be the game for next year?
I think they said they're gonna integrate some components of it, but I don't think it's gonna be like a pure game because I can imagine people. Actually, I don't know. I mean, if they like it enough, who knows, right?
Yeah.
I do think that they said like top three are gonna they're gonna combine top three or something, right? Designs in the top three accepted ones,
I
but
think that's
or
probably
winners.
more fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, I like the idea of this continuing to be a thing. I mean, yes, I know that first work, obviously really hard to find really specific ways. I was trying to say precise, but I guess specific might be a better word for it. Ways to make the challenge, or should I make the map challenging, but also fun, competitive, but also collaborative, things like that. So I think this could be really cool if this is like every I don't know 5 years or something. Actually, that would be too long, but They
Every
should do it
5 years.
often.
Hmm.
They should do it often, but not too often to the point where every single game is made by a group of high schoolers.
Hmm.
Like, is I'm not saying anything against high schoolers, but I can imagine that there might be some oversights that just aren't seen when you don't literally work for the nonprofit that designs these maps. Um,
Yeah.
but I'd love to see it more often, for sure.
Yeah, like every other year or something, so like a person can, see it twice or like see two games made
Mm,
by high schoolers, I guess.
yeah. But, yeah,
Mhm.
and that case is kind of weird, I guess. Yeah, that's the problem with first robotics in general. You get 4 years. I mean, if you're doing FRC, which is usually high school teams,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
you only get 4 years, and I only had 2 years. So in that case, I would have had one. So I guess yeah, probably a better solution would just be integrating small things, right? Like maybe a certain scoring technique, or maybe certain defensive rules, things like that, into the map. So yeah, okay. So what do we want to talk about next? Because that was kind of
Yeah, I think that's,
Yeah, that's kind of like an overview of what we've been working on.
and what
We
we're
are
excited
seeing if we
for.
can do anything in terms of like going back to school just as like a club, because other sports have been doing that. I know football's meeting up
yeah.
or starting to meet up, or they have competition next month. I'm not sure. Something
Yeah,
like that
we
in terms of football
we we're starting to do like our games and stuff
games.
next month. So that's like in 3 weeks.
Wow.
But yeah, it's odd because we have to wear masks all the time, and obviously, I mean,
Oh,
if it
that'd
was
be
in robotics,
tiring.
yeah, if it was in robotics, I would have no problem. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fine with wearing a mask. But in football, it's generally it's tiring, it's cumbersome because we're wearing a helmet over it and stuff like that. Um, but
Yeah. Like
I
I
don't
wear
know.
a mask and I to get like an Amazon package from like my mailbox and come back and I'm like exhausted, right? Maybe it's because that's
Yeah,
the only walking I've been doing, but like other than that, it's pretty exhausting.
I get it. Yeah, completely agree. But
But yeah, we're seeing if there's like a possibility for us to go in. It would
hmm
be interesting. Again, we can hope, but there's no confirmation yet. But I think we
right.
could start enforcing stuff. Again, it's not our call. It's the call we'd have to make with the school and the district. But we're taking a look into that.
I really think it'd be useful if they could have like two sub teams or something in there. I mean, obviously, the definition of sub team is vaguely defined, but our team, even like we've had our sub teams change every year. Um, but I think they should do something like, considering the size of the room or of the building, they could kind of
Mm.
make it like that. Like, I'd say we're lucky we have a separate building for robotics. Maybe you can have like 10, 15 people indoors, but some of the schools they don't have like a single room or a couple of rooms for robotics. So I don't know. I think it should be possible. I know some other schools have been doing basketball and other indoor sports, right? And
Yeah,
honestly, I think if that's possible, robotics has an
yeah.
equally compelling argument to being allowed as well. But
I guess there's the thing of like touching equipment, but we could make sure we clean those before we leave each time. But yeah,
I can
we're taking a
guarantee
look
you
into that.
those
Yeah,
teams are
they're
definitely
touching
touching the
more.
same equipment. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're touching
Yeah.
each other more.
Yeah.
There's only
But
one ball.
It's tackle football,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
Real football.
It's real
But yeah,
football. Yeah,
good
so
luck
that
with
that
that. Is
uh,
there anything else we want to talk about?
uh I don't know.
Nikhil,
It's
um
been
you were talking about a dancing robot video from Boston Dynamics.
oh yeah, so
Always
Boston
resorting
Dynamics
back to
for
them.
yeah. I don't know if you guys watched this, but I think for New Year's Eve, January 1st, around then, Boston Dynamics uploaded a new video with a bunch of their robots, like their most famous robots, like Spark. I'm blanking at Spot. Yeah, Spot. And I forgot the other robot name. Whatever. The parkour robot, Atlas. Yeah, Atlas. And all of the other robots dancing. So I thought that was just a very cool video. You guys should check it out. Link in the description. I'm joking. It's
Valentine's
not gonna
Day.
be there. Yeah. Oh, it was Valentine's Day. All right.
I
Yeah.
could,
Yeah. Yeah.
I could,
Valentine's
yeah, it's
Day.
Valentine's Day.
All right. Yeah.
Wait, there's a recent one?
So just go check them out. I thought that's really
I should
cool.
check this out.
Is there a more recent one too? Yeah, I think they did it for Valentine's Day. That's
Was
why
there
it's
one
in
on
my
Valentine's
memory.
Day?
Let me check.
Yeah, Do You Love
Boston.
Me? That was the name of it.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that was from December.
Was that from December?
Yeah,
It says 1 month ago, and then
it was
it
like
says
end of
December 29th.
December.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
1 month ago. I think it
My bad.
was January. Yeah, December 29th. So it was like
Yeah,
around
this
New
think
Year's.
That's weird.
I think the
Mhm.
joke in our chat was that these robots dance better than high school robotics students. That was a claim. Okay, I'm gonna stop this.
I
Yikes! I
might have to
mean,
agree with that claim. I'm not gonna lie.
Meg, I mean, I haven't seen you
honestly,
dance. You
oh
could be
boy,
very good, and I just don't know.
no. I remember. Okay, first off, I don't know. I can't do dancing like the hype music dancing. I mean, this is completely off topic, but I can't do the hype music dancing thing. It's like the homecoming. They play like rap music. I listen to plenty of rap music, just can't dance to
Yeah.
it. Slow dancing, I can do. I'm fine with that. I know how to keep a
Mm.
beat. I can do that. But
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is that yeah, I don't know. I'm not particularly good at dancing. I can't get my mind like in the mood kind of thing. So.
All right.
Boston Dynamics, if you're watching this, I challenge your robots to a dance off.
But you want
I
swerve
could,
dance? Oh, you're gonna
yeah.
dance. I thought you
I could
swerve.
dance, or we're gonna have our robot dance. All of our robots at once. We're gonna have them
Swerve
dance.
dancing. What is that gonna look like? 2D
Do it
dancing?
with
They're
what
spinning
wheels still?
around, but it has no wheels. It's
With
gonna be
what
Swerve.
wheels?
sitting.
You know what? That's our off-season project to create a music video of like our robots dancing, but they can only
We
Yes,
spin, right? And
we
then
have more
then there's
than
also
one.
yeah, they
but
We
can
they're
have
only
all
yeah.
they're
We
yeah.
have
We
an
could
arm
do
and
that. That'd
stuff,
be
right?
fun.
So
yeah, and they can shoot they can shoot the balls too, so we could
yeah,
work
Yeah,
something out.
that'd be pretty
Yeah.
fun.
yeah.
Neat
I
project right
might.
here.
That could be like my Are you going next year off season? No, I was
Yeah,
thinking like
any
that would
off
be like
season.
the final project I do before I leave
Yeah, I think
from
it's
for
Yeah,
feasible.
that'd be
college or
cool.
whatever. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We'll get
That's
to Boston Dynamics level. We start
we will.
here,
We'll get there.
give us a couple years,
Boston
give us
Dynamics.
a couple $1 million of funding. We'll figure it
We'll
out.
get there one day.
Just like next year, easy dub.
No,
Elon Musk. Elon Musk has us covered.
I mean, okay, I gotta run this by the treasurer first. But what if I recommend to Delaney that we take all the money we have in our accounts, put it into Bitcoin, and just wait it out to the moon,
I
right?
agree.
To the moon.
Dogecoin to the moon. I
We
agree.
do
Oh
have
yeah,
a decent
Dogecoin,
amount because we aren't meeting up in person, so the money's starting to
right?
like stack up.
Right. And
I'm
if
not sure if
Yeah,
Delaney,
it's
if
I'm
Delaney's
not sure if it's
listening
public
in,
information.
we
oh yeah,
invested GameStop as a group.
Yeah, Delaney, here's our proposition. But yeah, is
We
there anything
invested in
else we wanted to
GameStop.
talk about?
No, I think that was
I
kind of
don't think
it.
so. I think this is a good place to end um, the podcast episode.
Yeah.
With a dance off challenge with Boston Dynamics. I think we have a very good chance of winning. So yeah, that's basically it.
This is gonna be like it's gonna go clickbait though, like the title,
Yeah,
Saints Robotics,
dance off.
challenges, yeah, to dance off. But
This could be something we do on our social media, but we add them. Uh,
Yeah, we
if that's
add them.
how it works.
That'd be
Yeah,
pretty fun.
we should do
one
that
of
for this episode.
one of the
That'll be a
robots
real ad.
responds. No, dude, one of the robots in response like, you sure about that?
And we'll be like,
But
yes,
yes.
we'll win.
Okay. But yeah, before we send you guys off, you want to talk about our merch store? I mean, you're the best at it, Nikhil.
Oh yeah. So basically, if you guys want to buy some merch, like all of our merch, it's pretty awesome. Okay. Go to saintsrobotics.com and there's a small link saying buy our merch. So just click on that and it'll take you to our merch store and you can buy our merch. We actually don't get any money from it, but it's very cool and we're very honored if you buy some. So please do that. It'll make us feel very good inside. And also,
We'll
if you
consider
have
making
any,
merch for the podcast.
yes, we'll consider doing that. And also,
Yes.
if you guys want to be on the podcast or want to suggest topics or just have us react to something, please email us at roboticsassemblepodcast@saintsrobotics.com and we will probably check it out. We will check it out and then we will try to do something about it. So, yeah, that's
Probably.
basically it.
All right.
Okay.
All
So we
right.
want to do a robotics break.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
3, 2.
that.
I don't know which way
3,
it goes. All right. 3, 2, 1. Robotics
Robotics
break.
Robotics
break.
break.